On today's expose, I wanted to talk about Colossus, Piotr Rasputin, which is crazy. He's actually like descended from Rasputin. Like, fire that guy who wrote that. Anyway, Colossus first appeared in Giant Size X-Men #1 in May 1975, created by Len Wein and Dave Cockrum. He was part of the like rebranding of bringing in new faces from all over. This is also when we got our beautiful, lovely goddess Storm, who we also have on the pod with us today. And Colossus has the power to turn into metal. Of course, he's got his little sister, who's one of our favorites, Ileana. Magic, Ileana. And Colossus has a crazy story. Like, this dude, I don't know exactly how old he was when he meets Kitty. She's like 14. He's like at least 19. He's like, I want to fuck that. And then he goes over to another planet and he meets Zaji, who he's like, I want to fuck that. Fuck Kitty. So then he like runs off with her, and then he's not with Kitty for years and years. He eventually dies from the legacy virus. He comes back to life because he never actually died. It was just like break world nonsense. And then he gets back with Kitty. They're going to get married. And then Gambit and Rogue are like, oh, yoink, it's our wedding now because magic put doubts in your heads. Bye. So Colossus is a fan favorite, but he's been through it. How do we feel about Colossus?
I actually read an article recently that said that Cyclops wasn't actually supposed to be in Uncanny, and Colossus was actually going to be the leader.
Oh. Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I kind of like that. I would have liked to see where it went, but I'm happy that Kevin's voice stayed with us.
Yeah.
And fun fact, in the early 2000s when Juggernaut joined the X-Men in the much-hated Austin run, part of the reason why Juggernaut joined the X-Men is because they had a shortage of the big X characters, because Marvel wouldn't let them resurrect Colossus because they said people are getting tired of the resurrection thing. But then Joss Whedon was like, but I'm Joss Whedon, I have a bigger dick than Austin. So they're like, all right, you can resurrect him. So that's kind of a little behind the scenes.
I love Colossus. I hate that he does all this weird stuff. Like, they give him the weirdest storylines, I feel like. But I love him.
Yeah. When he choked his girlfriend in the most recent X-Force, I was like, what the fuck?
That's not him. That's not right.
I feel like he's like under possession and like does like the most outlandish things, but like it's not him.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird when his brother like took him over.
I really do. I really wish they would give him better stories though.
Yeah.
Same.
Welcome to Bayville, my new home. It's time you remember why they call me Storm.
Look at me, I look fat. Do I look that fat to you? Easy, you fuzzy elf. Everything is going to be just fine.
Storm. 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 That was tight. I give it 2 thumbs up.
All right, thank you for tuning in. My name is Sean. I'm the ultimate excavationist.
And I'm something of an X-fan myself, Kevin.
And I'm your astonishing X-Men stan, Ryan.
And hi everyone, I'm Num1. I'm your X-Men Storm cosplayer.
Yes, we're so excited to have you, Num1.
Thank you.
I was telling the boys today, and maybe this is where we start to scare you, or I start to scare you. I think I'm a little obsessed with you because I first saw you at Uncanny Experience last year. Since then, I've been seeing you pop up everywhere. You've been all over Instagram, all over the socials. I was even doing my programming homework, and it was like, use this formula to find Num1. I'm like, how did they get into my homework? That's good branding.
I don't know. I'm trying.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna ask, we met when you made me one of your like cosplay versus kind of thing with my Cyclops, which was so fun, and that was just such a cool series you did with all of our fellow cosplayers.
Thank
Super
you.
neat.
I love doing them. I wanna like I revamped my page so that it's all like my Storm stuff, and then I'm gonna do hopefully a page that's just the versus battles, so that everyone can like go to that and like do it
Yeah,
on there.
amazing. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
All
Did I
right,
miss
I
any
have to
other
say,
questions? Oh,
yeah,
No, we
I have
saved it
to
for you.
say, I just have a few maybe. No,
Just a few. It pulls out a
yeah.
book.
yeah.
How quickly you got the vibranium armor out? Like, how? Like,
Jeez.
do you sleep? Like, yeah.
So so no one can see. I don't know if you like air these and it's like a video, so people can see my face. I made a face. I'm sorry. It's not because I hate cosplaying. I love it so much, but like they've been like hitting me with new like looks for a Storm for this new series, like back to back to back, and I'm like, it's killing me. I'm dying. um,
It's like why?
so I did it in about 48 hours of like total work.
Dang.
Like give or take a few hours, more like take a few more hours
Holy
to edit in.
crap!
I was
Oh
on
my
spring
goodness.
break, so I really didn't sleep. I basically worked like 12-hour sessions and then would like sleep for a couple hours and then get up.
Because
Yeah.
the uncanniness of that is amazing. And then honestly, as I just kept on scrolling through your Instagram, you're right. You already had the new Storm costume. That is it, the Elemental Storm that it is, or
The
the
Eternal, yeah.
the Eternal. That's what it is. Yes, the Eternal one. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god. You are honestly amazing, and the uncanniness of all of these is just perfection. So honestly, thank you so much for what you're doing, and please, please, please keep doing this because you honestly have
Fantastic.
quite a gift. And
Thank you.
are you gonna be at Uncanny again this year?
So yes, I will be at Uncanny. I am their cosplay guest as Storm this year, so I will be officially there as Storm in character. So I'm very
Yay!
excited.
Oh my god, that is
Yay.
awesome. And that
I'm
is
very
so cool.
excited.
That is so cool because I want to actually lead that into my next question because I saw on your page also that you actually had like your favorite renditions of Storm in like the
Mhm.
media. And
Mhm.
I love that I actually saw Evolution was on there and it was a little higher and it was even higher than Wolverine and the X-Men Storm. I'm going to ask you why because I also agree with you, but I want to ask you why.
Okay, so I know I'm gonna get eaten alive for this
No, you won't. No,
because
you won't.
everyone has very strong feelings about Evolution Storm. They wanted her to be like a part of the team more, and I completely agree. But my reason for putting her higher on the list is because I love the almost like mothering she brings to them, the students, especially like the core group. I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's very much in line with her as, in the comics. Like when you look at her relationships with Kitty and Jubilee and even Colossus, she calls him little brother. I think that these things, I think people miss because they want her to be so powerful and they want her to be present all the time. I always wanted her to be on screen. I loved when she was there. I loved the storyline. I loved her look. But for me, I put her higher in the list because I think that that show allowed for her to be solid in her abilities, to be confident in who she was and what she brought to the table, to be someone that they all looked up to and trusted. I think she never faltered in that show. Like she never stumbled. She was never one that like was confused about her place on the team. And I think that that was so important to have someone who they could look up to who was like a really great role model, both in costume and out of costume. When you look at her relationship with Spike and you look at her relationship with the littler X-Men, the New Mutants that were there, I think that it just proves how valuable she was to them. Not to mention she was basically like the baddest on the team. Like she was so powerful. And I think when they first face off against the Sentinel in later episodes, like that showcase of her abilities, like, and the anger that she had, I think was something I was like, I love it. I'm here for it.
Sean didn't hear that. Sean didn't hear that.
Sean, you hear that? I've never watched Evolution all the way through. I always got stuck on season 1, so this is my
Oh, I'm so
first
sorry.
run through, and they keep trying to tell me that it's good.
It
is good.
So good. I'm so
It
glad I
is
didn't
very-
spoil the ends for you, because like the end
Yeah.
is like where I was like freaking out the most. But I love it.
Okay, nice.
I'm glad we have another fan though, because it's hit and miss. Some people hate it, some people love it. Every guest.
Yeah.
So
I think that I love it so much because it was so different. I think that a lot of times when we're watching X-Men shows, we're more watching, mutant battles and mutant struggles outside of the school.
Mhm.
And I really think even now we should have a show or something, Disney Plus or something, that is about the kids at the school and about them learning to use their powers and really focusing on them in the danger room and going to class and trying to be regular people. I think that's really important. So
Yeah, definitely.
also coming from like a teacher, I think that's like
right, of course.
kind of on the nose. Yeah, I like the school one.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher.
Definitely. I agree.
And-
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what set you on this path? Obviously, like, you love Storm, but what got you started in, like, I'm gonna dress like every single Storm outfit there is?
So, oh my God. Sarah Starshine, who I love, she's the Jean to my Storm. If you guys are following me on Instagram, you'll see her basically on all my stuff. I love her. So I always loved cosplay. I draw a lot of stuff. So I am an artist first, cosplayer second. Most people don't know that.
That's so cool.
But I had always been drawing X-Men stuff, love X-Men stuff, and I had always loved the cosplay. And I had always been able to sew. And I was just like, well, kind of want to do it. There's nothing stopping me. And so I reached out to Sarah because I had seen her new X-Men Grant Morrison look. And the Grant Morrison looks are like iconic. And so I just asked her like where she got her top and like what she was doing. And she was like, I just made it at home. Like, you can totally make one. And she just kind of encouraged me. And so I started cosplaying at New York Comic Con, like a crazy person who has lost their mind and had the best time. I made the Lucas Wernick MCU design for Storm. It was my first cosplay. And then like a more classic modern, like from the early 2000s, and wore that. And yeah, I just kind of went from there. And because I love Storm so much, I was like, I have to do all these looks that I love. And I had a list. And then in my first year, I did, I think, 14 cosplays.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I'm an insane person who only sleeps
A
like
go-getter.
5 hours a night. So
Yeah.
like, when I set my mind to something, I'm like, I'm going to do it. And then I kind of like get off the rails. And so then this year I was like, I'm going to cut back. I'm only going to do like 1 or 2 looks. And it's April and I've done 3 already. And my list is still at like 8 looks. So
Wow.
I'm finishing up 2 more, a gown and then another look. So I'll have done 5 by, I hope, the end of this month. And then I have summer looks planned already and then fall looks coming. So.
Very cool. Well, we will be eagerly following your Insta to see all these
Super
wonderful
excited.
looks.
No pressure.
No
No.
pressure.
And can't wait to see the summer looks in person at Uncanny Experience.
Yeah. My uncanny looks are already planned. I'm not going to reveal what they are, but if you come to some after parties or things, you'll see something different that I'm keeping to myself. So
Oh,
I'm excited
cool.
to share.
Ooh, I'm very excited to see. In my mind is
Anticipation.
there's so many things popping in my head on what it could be.
I think that people are going to really like what I have planned for the summer. So
Oh,
Yay.
I'm very excited.
awesome.
Well, no pressure, but if any of them aren't good, we're gonna unfollow you. So
It's fine. I'll just stop and then disappear again. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'll be like, what happened? Give me feedback. I need to know what I did wrong. Oh.
Well, I was inspired by Kevin over there because we just started a new segment on Words of the Witches. So, hey, new segment
Yay.
on Solving for X. So, whenever we have news we want to talk about, I was very inspired by my favorite villain, This is our sinister gossip hour of doom.
Ooh, I love it.
Nice.
SGHOD.
Yep, there you go. So, speaking of people who sometimes get obsessive with things, which I don't know anybody, I
No.
thought since this is a video episode, we talk about the books. I just got the last one in the mail today, but unfortunately, it's in the mailbox, so I have to show it on my phone. So this is Triptych. Then we've got First Team, which this one was funny because somebody on Reddit was like, it's got Grey Malkin and Anil, and it's got Cypher. And some troll was like, I believe Cypher's a dude. I was like, fuck you, troll. And
Also, that was amazing.
yeah. We've got Liberty and Justice for All. Ooh, this one has Ava in it. That's exciting. I love Ava Bell.
Neat.
I do too. Such a tragic
That book is
story.
also
hers.
great.
Yeah. Oh, you've read all these? So I was the only
I've
one who
read a
didn't know
couple
about
of.
all
I've
these?
read a couple of them. I haven't read Triptych yet. I need to pick that up. I think because I'm trying to get all of them in the set too. I'm stuck right now on the Phoenix Chase one.
Okay. That's the first one I found. That's what started this. And I introduced them last week, and Ryan was like, Sean, you idiot. Everybody knows about the books. I already own most of them.
That was my exact words.
Yep. We've got School of X, which we know one of the writers in this book. So
that
that's
Pat
fun.
Shand?
Pat Shand, yep.
Yay.
The
Here are all of
Siege
season
of
10 Charm
X41.
comics.
Yep. The Phoenix Chase, which Num1 talked about. I'm really excited for that one because Mr. Quentin. And The Sound of Light, Dazzler. Oh, I love Dazzler.
Have you started the Dazzler one yet?
No, I'm trying to get this last class out of the way.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, Num1. You tell us you.
sorry, no. I know there's also. Isn't there Isn't Polaris in that one too?
Is she? Oh, she is. She's on the cover.
Yes, that makes me so excited. I want to read that one too. I read
Yeah. Oh.
because I was reading right before I read Phoenix Chase. I read the Aurora one, and then I have a Rogue Touch. I think it's a Rogue book.
Yeah. And then I believe
Um,
there's a Domino one as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. With the disappearance of Magneto and Cyclops, reluctantly, Dazzler takes the case and unfolds a mystery greater than she anticipated. She recruits the extraordinary mutants, Emma Frost, Polaris, and Sage, and Rachel Gray. That's exciting.
Not that shade to shade. Sage.
Oh.
Ooh,
Sage is fine.
I love Sage. She a mess too. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a good character. She fills a good role.
I can imagine her hard to have a conversation with.
Yes.
Just her constantly thinking about other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. And last week's Previously On, we asked who would win in a fight, Morph or Juggernaut? Num1, what are your thoughts on this? Who do you think would win?
It's a very hard question for me. I want to say Morph just because of the versatility that he brings to the combat. I feel like Juggernaut is Juggernaut, and we know what he has to offer. So I feel like Morph's ability to literally morph, I think, would give him the upper hand.
That's what we
I
said.
could be
Even
wrong.
with his,
No, we also said that too.
more so with his new powers of taking on the physical powers of everyone. He's broken now. He could take on Juggernaut, no problem. Well, for the first time in Solving for X history, we have a tie, 50-50.
Oh, gasp!
What?
Shucks
Yeah,
to the
Juggernaut
core.
was winning for most of the day. I didn't even notice it went to a tie. That's fun.
Juggernaut are our Monet and Trinity?
Yep, season 4 All Stars.
Wow.
All right. Today we are going to talk about Mainstream. This aired September 28, 2002, written by Greg Johnson and Michael Merton, and directed by Frank Parr. Shall we get into it, kiddos?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, please.
Oh, I forgot. There was more in Sinister Gossip Hour of Doom that I missed. Holly Berry. So last week we talked about it being rumored that she may be in talks to be in Doomsday,
yes.
and Holly Berry made a statement that she is not. She said, "Keep hoping," but I still do hope because, as we saw with Andrew Garfield, we can never trust any of these actors again.
No.
Yeah.
Also,
They're all liars.
did you see what
Yep.
happened with Haley? I'm sorry, is it Steinfeld or what's her?
Mhm.
How do you pronounce? Yeah, Haley Steinfeld. In a new, like, she was at a red carpet and she's signing autographs and everything, and they're like, "Are you in the new Avengers?" And she's like this, and she's like, and then her face goes like blank afterwards. Then she was
Oops.
like,
She's
like you can literally
That's
see her
Yeah,
face
she's
go
like,
blank, be like,
You're like, I
Kevin
can't
Feige's
say that.
calling me. Kevin
I
Feige's
know.
gonna call me.
She's like, it's like, I'm fired. I'm in trouble.
Run!
My NDA. I'm
Hide.
breaking my NDA for with a nod. Oh no.
I'm the new Tom Holland. I'm the new Tom Holland.
Yep.
That has
Suddenly they
got to
put
be
out
like the
another
most
video with her.
terrifying experience, though. Like,
Yeah.
don't say
Yeah.
anything. You signed an NDA. It's Marvel, Disney, like the biggest like entertainment company in the world, and you jank it up, and like, I would hate every minute of it.
I know.
If you have a
Oh.
chance, like, YouTube it afterwards. It is hilarious because you literally see her face just go like it's you can't yes, exactly, like it literally just like freezes like
Cool.
Just
Yeah,
fuck.
Like, where's my publicist? Help!
Yeah.
I was just
Don't worry,
I
they're
had
gonna
a
be
song in my head.
contacting
I was
you
listening to
very
the song in my
shortly.
head.
Just enjoying the vibes, yo. Ooh.
Yep. Yep.
You know.
Funny.
For our last piece of news, I do have a big announcement. Unfortunately, I do have to leave the. I can't even do it. I can't even do it. I tried to April
It's not April
them.
Fool's
I'm like, "No, I'm
anymore."
leaving the podcast.
Did you see me just throw my hands up? I'm like, here we go again.
I know.
That's it. We're trying again next week.
Funny.
Oh goodness.
All right. Let's get into this. Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters, Night. The school is in a state of repair. Men are sneaking onto the campus as below the school, Nightcrawler catches Kitty drinking straight from the carton. And once again, this big old block carton. What the hell milk is this?
Costco.
Costco.
Yep.
Yeah.
Costco. Kitty notices the intruders and the two mutants go to investigate.
Kurt ports himself and Kitty to the outside surface of the school. They then split up. Kitty catches 3 of the intruders, but she is taken aback by their odd appearance. She demands to know who they are. Nightcrawler ports in behind the intruders and attacks. Kitty snaps out of it and they take the guys down. The scary faces are actually just masks. The teens were prepping to spray paint the school, and they run away.
Snap out of it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you all hear that?
Snap out of
Is that a
it.
cameo? So,
Are you
one
gonna
of
go
these
there?
masks- Yeah, one of them is definitely Fin Fang Foom. Another one really looks like another monster, but I forgot his name because they all have weird names like Glarp and Burp and Suck and Fuck and whatever. But I swear they're all based on Marvel
What
monsters.
comics are you reading?
Mm-hmm.
And please recommend them.
Sure, it's XXX Men.
That's it. Did you when you first saw these guys coming out? Did you think like that they could be anyone else or anything, or did you think that they were who they were?
I thought we were going to get into the Morlocks, especially since last episode we saw Berserker go to the Morlocks. So that's where I went right away until we saw their hands. I was like, Morlocks don't just have regular hands when you have Fin Fang Foom Face.
Then you have got Fin Fang
Right.
Fu hands.
Yeah.
I did love.
also,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kev. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I love during the fight they made use of Nightcrawler's tail. Like he was actually using it for combat, which was super cool.
Yes, it was. They always have such good fight scenes in this.
They do,
Mhm.
I
especially
agree.
for the time.
Mm-hmm.
Was anyone else grossed out by Kitty having cold pizza with milk?
A little bit in the
I
middle
was
of the
trying not to
night.
think about it, but yeah, it's kind of gross.
I kind of
I'm just like,
noticed it
that's
only
an odd
halfway
choice.
through.
My whole thing, I was talking her drinking milk, like actually drinking full on, like, oh, I'm just gonna like drink milk.
Yeah.
For me, that's like, that was where I was like, oh no, that's not a thing no, don't like any of this that's happening. Shame her, Nightcrawler. I agree.
Yeah.
I also love that he was like, okay, drink the rest of the carton. There's half left. I want to see you puke all over. Like,
Yep.
Oh wow.
I like it.
Yeah. I feel like when we were young, there was a big push to get us to drink milk, and that's kind of like gone to the wayside. This was definitely towards the end of that got milk
I want to say
period.
you're right with the Got Milk
Yeah.
campaigns. I remember there was
Yeah.
like Charlie's Angels,
Bigger
Dawson's
bones
Creek,
and stuff.
Buffy.
And there was all the mustaches, the milk mustaches. Oh my
Yeah.
I'm pretty
gosh.
sure there was a Charmed one.
No, I would have. No, I wish there was. There should have been.
Oh, okay. All right. I was
I would have been
saying,
all about that.
I feel like they all realize we're all lactose intolerant and like we don't need that in our lives.
Yeah.
you guys, we're actually killing them. We're not making their bones healthy. We're killing them.
Yeah.
Everyone is miserable. That's why we all hate each other. We're forcing ourselves to drink milk.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'd like to really quickly out Kevin as like the ultimate charmed person. I found out yesterday he didn't even write into the magazines when they were coming out. So I don't know.
know.
I don't know if he's the ultimate
know.
charmed fan
It's
anymore.
terrible. I have them all. Oh, yeah. I'm a failure at life.
He preferred reading.
Drink
yeah.
milk.
He preferred reading, not about them, not being in them. You know.
Okay. You can still be a charmed fan, Kevin.
No, I curse myself every day because I didn't do it. All right. X-Men. The next day, Xavier and Logan watch as Jubilee is sadly forced to leave the school. Rain, I was going to say Ronnie, Rain has been pulled out of the school. Xavier admits to Logan that he understands why. Because we have, Jubilee is missing and Rain is gone. And Xavier's like, oh yes, I get it. If I was in their position, I would probably do the same thing. The school isn't safe anymore. Xavier tells Logan not to beat himself up. Mystique's power has grown beyond their capability of catching her with their powers. So she can, block her, her sensing or block her whatever it is. Block her from catching her. So, yeah.
She can hide herself from Cerebro.
Yeah.
I think that's a super interesting evolution for her in this show. After season 1 of her going through the little machine and her getting her power upgrades. I think it's very clever. I think that it helps, them kind of update the next seasons with her and do fun things with her because she can do so much more. So I think it was really smart from a writing perspective.
I agree.
And what are some of those things that they do to update her? Can you tell us?
So she's able to transform in different ways than what is standard in the comics. So for the most part, she is able to, in the comics, transform just into other people. But in the show, she's able to transform into animals. And then with these new additions of being able to, mask her scent and then kind of avoid telepathy, I think that's really, really a big shift for her and makes her also much more dangerous. So I like that for her.
Yeah.
Because she's always a threat. Mystique is just generally a problem. Even when she's your friend. Gotta watch out. But I think in this show, they really made her dangerous because I feel like Magneto wasn't the ultimate presence. She was in this show. She was the underlying villain in most of the show. So I really enjoyed that.
Damn,
That
I
is
was hoping
awesome.
to get spoilers from you.
I knew that you were,
Trying to
Sean.
avoid it.
I knew exactly what you were doing.
I'm trying to
Thank you
avoid
for
it. I
being
don't want to
very
spoil
smart.
it.
Yeah, thank you for being very smart, and you did such an excellent job. And honestly, I have to say that you actually opened my eyes to this. In the comics, she's this ruthless killer that just does whatever she wants and to whoever she wants to. You can't portray that in a child's television show, cartoon. So how did they do that? Instead of making her this ruthless killer, they just gave her all of these more powerful powers. The not being able to have her scent picked up, turning into animals, stuff like that. Like it did. You just really opened up to how like Chris Yost really transformed Mystique into the killer that she is from the comics. So thank you for
I
doing
think
that.
also, oh, you're welcome. I think also too, like the psychological aspect of her interactions with the other characters, even from season one, like the way she's the principal, but is like subtly influencing things and is very knowledgeable. I think, as kids, they like kind of miss that nuance, but for us as adults, we're like, oh, shady boots.
Yeah.
We're like, you running around out here, somebody catch her.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, she's in such a position of power over them in a very public setting. So she's very restrained. She's forcing them to be very restrained. And then when it all comes out, they're all like, oh my God. Of course, it makes so much sense now why our lives are so chaotic. And she's just been like basically thriving in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
So, am I not going to see Mystique turn into a younger girl to try to sleep with Gambit to get Rogue to break up with him in the show? Is that what you're subtly trying to tell me?
no,
That-
you're not no.
Okay, I'll cross that one off.
She's already wristy. We've got enough young girls.
Yes.
that
Yeah.
didn't happen in the
She's already a
comics
young
at this
girl.
time yet either.
I know.
That happened in the aughts. This was what's it called? This was the 99.
Well, we're already in 2002. We're close to it happening in the comics.
Xavier wakes up the remaining students. He calls for a breakfast meeting for only his original students: Kitty, Scott, Jean, Rogue, Spike, and Kurt. He tells them he has secured an agreement to get them back into school, as long as they don't use their powers. Spike gets upset and doesn't want to conform to fit in with the humans. Kurt is happy that he hasn't been identified yet. But it won't last. Xavier tells the mutants that there will be a vote at school that night, and they need to be at school in person to secure sympathy for their cause.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is such like a parent thing, like you have to be there. They're gonna, they'll see your face. They're gonna feel bad for you. Like,
Yeah, you're right. It is. You have to create
Like-
sympathy.
I think it's also too like a little bit manipulative. Like I'm using my innocent looking children to like, and it's for their own benefit, but also I'm like, don't put them in a position like that. I feel bad for them. It's so awkward.
Yeah.
so true.
But- Typical Charles fashion.
Oh God,
Typical Charles,
yeah,
especially.
we hate him too. We hate him too.
Yeah.
The man's a
Evolution Charles
menace.
is the worst.
I love hate him, or
Okay.
hate love him. I don't know. It's weird because like he has done so much good at the same time as doing so many questionable things. But also, I feel like anyone with telepathy is questionable to begin with. Because I'm like, your power is to control other people and make them do what you want. I can't trust you.
Yeah.
Also, you've done so many questionable things even in this show too. Like, why aren't you just using your powers at this conference to be like, vote my kids okay, vote my kids are all right to be there?
Literally, I think it's like the first or second episode or something like that. He uses his powers to make everyone forget.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
And like as a kid, I was like,
absolutely
"Oh, that's so cool." As an adult, I'm like, "That is horrifying."
I mean, it's not like he has any kind of sense of morality, really. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's
But-
out of like a duty to protect people. So I feel like it it generates from a good place. But his ability is, it crosses a line. Like, to take people's like autonomy and like to manipulate people, I think is so problematic. But at the same time, like, I get to, like, you're doing it to keep this very precious minority, safe. So
Yeah. Well
but at the same
said.
time, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Own it. Stand 10 toes down. Menace. But no.
All right, and we have a pop culture moment because this space looks just like the underground from X-Men 2000. This is straight up like that Cerebro area under the school. Same exact thing.
Oh, sorry, we missed one last episode. I forgot to say it, so I'll just say it now.
Tell us.
The pop culture moment. A lot of those grunts that the Trish Tilby reporter was doing was the same as the Natalia from GoldenEye. The same exact grunts or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I was like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I had a little theory, but maybe it's not going to play out. I told you guys after, I forgot to bring up, I thought Rogue was going to permanently absorb Juggernaut's power and get her strength that way rather than from Miss Marvel, but I feel like it would have happened in this episode.
Yeah.
I'm just studying all your faces to be like, am I totally wrong?
I do appreciate, though, in this show how they allow for her to be as like athletic and almost like really badass the entire show.
Yeah.
Like, at all points, but really up to this point, you see her be comfortable using her abilities, but also comfortable not using them, and still be an asset to her team. As well,
That's
we'll get
true.
into it, I guess, as the episode goes on. But I'm really excited. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now that you bring it up, she is a very well-adjusted rogue, because like the Lenore Zahn rogue, as much as I love her and she's like my sparkling jewel of that series, she's a little cray. She does her little bird scream quite a bit. We don't see that from this rogue.
No, we don't.
I don't know if y'all noticed, there is some scandal in this scene. When Cyclops leaves the room, he has Nightcrawler fur all over him. It's all over his chest. It's
I
all
saw,
over him.
yeah. I was looking like, what is
what
that?
What were you two doing?
I was so confused.
He was putting that tail to good use.
Oh my.
Again, X-Men Evolution. Great show. All right. All the students gasp and stare as the mutants walk to their class. Some people even tell them to go home. Evan starts to flip the fuck out, but Scott calms him. Kurt disappears into the crowd. Scott gets a look from Taryn. Duncan approaches Jean and offers to overlook her problem as long as she helps him cheat on tests. Jean gets mad and ditches him. Scott walks Jean to class, and the two have a moment together. A moment.
They do. Finally.
God, they're just rushing this relationship right along. Jeez.
I've been waiting for it forever.
Yeah.
No, but I do feel like they kind of address that, like, telepathy, manipulation of that ability for her, and how she's so vehemently opposed to it. I think is why we all love Jean. I mean, this young Jean, the other young Jean. That's it. He was very manipulative. But this Jean is like, no, not cool. So I love that about her.
Yeah, it's so great.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and finally,
also
get
like
rid of
to know-
Duncan for good. It took you long enough
finally,
to do that
thank
too.
God. That boy was a menace.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we all saw it except for Jean. She's the only one who's like, no, he's a nice person.
Nice to you only. He's mean to all your friends who live with you. Girl.
Yeah.
Look, if her boyfriend was mean to me and we had to go home together, trust and believe, she would have got an earful. How you
Yep.
gonna have that? You dating that man, he mean to all of us in here. No. You can go stay with him. Don't come over here.
We do
Doors
not
are locked.
approve.
Yep, done with you.
Please.
Gotta go.
Mm-mm.
But no. Also, I wanted you guys' thoughts on Kurt, like basically like shrinking into the crowd. Because when I rewatched the episode for tonight, I was like, that boy, that's so messed up. How you leave your friends?
So, I thought the exact same thing. I did, but think about before he actually came to Bayville.
That's the thing.
And that
You
was
know
my
what I
second
mean?
thought.
Yeah, and then I
He
was
finally
like,
is like, oh, I'm not the one who's been outed and having to
yes,
hide.
yeah, and it's like this is like so. Yes, I think that it's a horrible move on his behalf and stuff like that, but I can understand why a
You
high
can understand
schooler
it.
does something like that.
And to think, like, his school was his first like opportunity to like be able to
Be
like
a
fit in,
human.
because his true appearance, identifies as him as an outsider immediately. So this is his first time he gets to actually be part of the crowd, and so you get why he would be reluctant to give that up.
Oh, by the end of the episode, my opinion has definitely changed. But like while you're watching, you're like, that's so messed
Well, you're in
up.
it. I know.
Oh no,
Like, be with your friends.
I feel the exact same.
I was
way.
in my feels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I was like,
Shame on you, Kurt. And then it's
if I had been there, I'd be like, you better go stay with your friends. Don't leave them over there by themselves.
hit him on the back of the head.
You know, the teacher was like, no, you go over there and you be with your friends. I know you don't like each other right now. You better stand with them people. Don't leave them behind.
Hit
Is
him
that
on the
your
back of the
teacher
head.
voice? I
Get
love
him
your
to go
teacher
sit over
voice.
there.
Yeah, my teacher was like, you better get over there. I'm not playing with you. Hurry up.
Pick that shit up.
Clean it up. Make some space.
Don't forget your juice box.
Turn off your watch. Show me true colors.
I love it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Sorry. My turn, sorry.
No, that was fun.
Elsewhere, Logan is out joyriding on his bike, doing his Logan thing, and he notices another bitch on the bike following him. The rider catches up to Logan and makes his skin metal. Wow. The rider knocks a truck into Logan's path, and Logan pulls some sick moves jumping over the truck. The cool rider is already gone, though.
Cool.
I see what you did
Oh,
there.
Have you ever seen Grease 2?
No, I have not.
Okay. It's like the best, worst movie. Michelle Pfeiffer's in it as like the lead as a teenager. And the whole story is about her like falling in love for a guy who rides on a motorcycle, but he doesn't take off his helmet. He's almost like a superhero. Yeah, it's the cheesiest movie.
And
but
he's
it's so
Sandy's
wonderful.
cousin. Sandy's cousin.
Yeah, that's right. He's Sandy's cousin. And there's a song that Michelle Pfeiffer sings called Cool Rider, and it's the most amazing thing ever. And I'm totally not going to use it for this week's song on Instagram.
COOL.
It involves a ladder where she's just straddled over it, like dancing and everything.
Yeah, it's
like it's. I highly.
Well, that's
highly
What I
recommend
want in a
it.
guy.
It
I
is
watch it
pure
too much.
camp.
It's...
Yeah, pure camp.
Hilarious.
All right. Back at the Brotherhood of Bayville boarding house. I think I spit a lot there. Toad and Bob are teasing Lance Alvers about Kitty not talking to him anymore. Lance throws a fit and shakes the house. Just then, there is a knock on the door. It's Principal Kelly. He invites the Brotherhood to come back to the school. And this is because he was, like, parked outside the school like a weirdo watching, like, Jean not use her powers. He's like, dang it, they're not going to use their powers. I have to take action and get these people that will use powers to the school.
Yeah, that didn't. That wasn't alarming at all. Him sitting in his car watching children.
Not
Right.
creeping. It's not weird.
Like, go into your office. Like, get out of here.
Normal.
At least Mesquite
You
did
have
it
a
from
whole
a window.
job.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, like,
Yeah,
you
have
can't
some
just walk
decency.
around. As someone who works in school, I want to let you know that's not a thing that we just allow. People just leave their vehicles. At least not now. Maybe when this first aired, like that was more normal. But now it's like, ooh, the cops have been called. Please leave the premises.
Wow.
Oh no, you work here? Why are you in your vehicle and not at your job?
Yeah, that's even worse.
You get paid. Come in here.
Can you, in your teacher voice, can you say, "Get the hell up out of your car"?
Get the hell about your car. But no, like in all seriousness though, like I do appreciate the transition from him, you know, kind of being not necessarily neutral, but oblivious to him like finding out all of this crazy stuff and then being right under his nose and him taking very swift moves to kind of like out them. I think that that's like, ooh, this is a good story arc for him. I think that we didn't get like in the films or anything. Like in the films, it's just he's there being a problem.
Yeah.
So for those of us that weren't like that avid comic readers, then sorry, I think that this was a good like, oh, so you have kind of a reason, but also, sir, calm down, not that serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I do like
I was kind of against him being principal when he first showed up, but now it's like gelling and making sense. Like this is the best way to get him in there and part of the story and like active against the X-Men, because as the president, it would have been he'd be too far. Like, why is he at Bayville? Why is he at the school? Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely gives him like trajectory as he's like moving in that direction. I feel like that's very realistic.
Mm-hmm. The
Yeah.
drama.
Plus, if he's
Yes.
president sitting in his car like a creeper, can you imagine having a weird president who doesn't make any sense and can't even talk in public and is like an orange color? Like, that'd be gross and unrealistic.
Oh my.
Or could you even imagine if like a current president was a former teacher and was responsible for the lives of children?
Oh, God.
Exactly.
Enough of that. Let's move on.
It took a dark turn.
Kurt starts to go around trying to bro it up with other flat scans, because that's what he is. Just a normal flat scan. Just then, Amanda hugs Kurt. She's happy to see him, but is Kurt happy to see her? Kurt tells Amanda he doesn't want to be known as a mutant. Amanda encourages him to come out as a mutant.
Oh.
Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, so when Kurt first went up to his locker at this point, like right before Amanda comes to see him, he's talking to a guy. This guy has like longer blonde hair and a backwards cap. I know it's not, but I was like, is this supposed to resemble Adam X? Because like that's all I thought of as soon as I saw him. I'm like, you look exactly like Adam X, like the back of a younger Adam X would look like. Which,
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if they threw that in, but I would be too, because that'd be so random. But it'd be cool, but random. But good eye. All right. Outside the school, Duncan is beating up on Scott. The fight isn't looking great for Scott. He prepares to blast Duncan, but stops himself. Duncan's friends grab Scott from behind. Duncan takes Scott's shades. Kitty and Rogue come to Scott's defense. They chase Duncan and his friends away. Kitty catches Kurt spying on them, lurking around the corner. Around the corner, Kurt is confronted by two asshats. He tells them he's not friends with the mutants anymore. Kitty and Rogue overhear and confront Kurt. Kurt makes an excuse to leave, and Kelly watches the whole thing from his office. There you go. He's not in his car anymore. He's in his office like a self-respecting, pervy principal.
That is creeping on them kids. Weird.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that's how Mystique did it in season 1. She was always like lurking from that window that like creepy Darth Vader Magneto would talk to her from.
And the window is always
Yeah.
always in the perfect spot to spy. Like what? Like it's always where they are. How
Yeah.
convenient.
This window, just like the lake behind the mansion, also moves.
It moves. You hear her on the loudspeaker like, attention students, can you please move in front of the window so I can spy on you more appropriately?
Right.
Thank you.
Hilarious. Please step into the courtyard so I have a better view of
Yep.
what you're up to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're allowed to be outside, but only in this area. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
go beyond this area, you will get a I don't know, what are they called? Detention.
It's the dark, shadowy place. We must never go there.
The basement. Kelly asks his secretary to page Duncan Matthews and have him report to the principal office immediately.
Plotting.
I also feel like that also is a callback to the earlier seasons when Mystique would do the same thing, or Principal Darkholm would do the same thing.
Yes.
She was always calling the kids into her office. Specifically, I feel like it was like Toad all the time
Right.
Mhm.
to do her little like minion.
She was
thing.
intense. She was so intense.
There was one time I feel like she was like standing over him and like turned into like a demon
Yeah.
almost. Like,
Yes.
the brood or something. And I was like, "Girl, calm down."
I know.
He's like 14.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah.
That's not how you teach
Also, he's
children.
already scared of you. You don't need to work extra hard.
It was a
Right,
lot.
you don't need to turn into Leah Michelle. You're fine.
That's terrible, but also hilarious.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Factual.
Meanwhile, Logan continues his joyride. He ends up chasing the Metal Rider, the cool Metal Rider, to a farm. Rather than using a door, Logan busts through the wall. Colossus catches Logan's bike and throws it. Logan and Colossus prepare to fight.
Just
I
a
was so
mess.
excited by this whole scene because the fact that it's on a farm and there's a tractor right there, I was like, yes, reference that Colossus backstory. Yes!
It's like, Ileana, is that you?
Ileana!
What are you doing here?
So good.
Ileana, who is my sister?
I feel like that also is another reason why I love this show so much. It like really modernized, and I'm like using that term very lightly, the X-Men from the 90s that were like so dramatic and like really were heavily acting. Like it kind of like normalized conversations with people and like
Yeah.
normalized the way that they were talking to each other. So I really love that about this show.
Yeah.
I'm just
absolutely.
hearing Storm's voice in my head as you're saying this. Storm, Allison Seeley Smith. And I'm like, what's not normal about the way she talks?
I love that woman. I love her so
Yeah.
much. She's amazing. She's everything. And I can't speak highly enough of her. But I'm also like, that show is wild. Like, the 97 is great. I feel like 97, like, definitely updated things a lot more. Definitely gave us, like, okay, we're normalizing, like, how we're talking to each other and these moments of, like, grandness, even for Aurora. But the 90s show, I'm just like, I feel like a lot of this is not, that's not how people would do that. I feel like maybe now because we're a little bit like more like techie or whatever. I don't know what to call it, but like I'm not giving you a like heads up about what I'm doing. I'm just gonna do it.
It's X-Men
Yeah.
92. It's Shakespeare,
No.
don't you know? It's Shakespeare.
It's Shakespeare.
Not when I'm fighting a sentinel for my life. I'm trying to live, okay? I'm trying to live.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta do it quickly.
Mhm.
But no, I do love the callback here.
Yeah.
But because of Allison, that's the voice I read Storm in. Like, you know, like
Oh,
when I
yeah.
read comics, like that's the Storm voice that I hear. Lenore's
Oh,
the
totally.
Rogue voice that I hear. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
When I first talked to her, I was like, oh my god, it's like hearing my childhood. And then for like a moment, I was like, am I having a stroke? Is that what this feels like? I was like, this
Am I
isn't
smelling
normal.
burnt
This
toast?
isn't
Is
a
that
normal
burnt
response.
toast?
Literally, I was like, I smell burnt toast. I'm having a problem. The same thing happened to me this weekend when I met Kron Ashley, who was the Yellow Ranger. I was like, I literally am looking her dead in the eyes. I'm like, I smell burnt toast. I gotta go. And she was like, it's fine, it's fine. I was like, no, my childhood. Oh my god, you're amazing. I was like, you're amazing. What's happening? And Amanda Martini was with me, and she was like, calm down. And I was like, I'm having a stroke. It was great. But no, like I'm more used to meeting Allison now. I've met her since I've met her a couple times, luckily. Not to like brag or anything. I'm not doing that on purpose, but I want to be like, okay, she's a normal person now. You can be a normal person too. Like, calm down. Like, don't freak out. Normal people talk to each other. Even though you're hearing Storm in real life.
Yep.
Yes.
Lenore, I cried when I met Lenore because I was like, she's talking to me, and I hear Rogue. She's also saying very kind words to me. My feelings.
She's the sweetest person.
She's so sweet.
She really is. She's
So great.
it's just amazing.
I think the one voice that X-Men 92 ruined for me, like I can't imagine anybody else ever doing the voice better, is Apocalypse. How do you up that? Like Apocalypse was so good in X-Men 92.
I have to be quiet.
Oh no, you have opinions. I saw it on your face.
I do.
But you'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very quiet because like
he's dramatic.
I've heard like Apocalypse. I think my favorite version of him is X-Men Legends 2. I think, yeah, I think that version of him is my favorite. I feel like also in that game, and at least in the cutscenes and stuff, he's like very much a presence in that. He doesn't talk, I think, too much, but when I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's menacing. I like it.
Okay, I'll shut up until we see him later in this season. Oops! Oh no!
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
She was her favorite after X-Men Legends 2 is Wolverine and the X-Men's Apocalypse. So I don't know what you're talking about. We were talking about before this. Yeah.
Yes.
Back in Kelly's office, Duncan reports to the principal. Kelly tells Duncan he's aware of the fight with Scott. Kelly tells Duncan he should be afraid of mutants. Kelly encourages Duncan to team up with the Brotherhood boys, who also hate Scott Summers, just like Kevin. No, I'm joking. No.
Manipulator.
Are you hate?
But I also think
cosplaying
this
as
goes to
Scott?
show like how easily manipulated like the kids are. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you're saying mutants are dangerous, but then you want me to go and work with a bunch of them. Like, which is it here? But I'm also not smart enough to recognize them getting played because you're feeding into my teenage, I don't know, rage or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
My underdeveloped brain is like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
I don't know
could
if
see
Duncan's
you
brain will
setting
ever
kids
be-
against each other.
Look, I'm a teacher, and I do not agree with this. Stop pitting them against each other. Make them be friends.
What were you saying, Rai?
Oh, I was going to say, I don't know if Duncan's brain will ever be developed.
True.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
So, why does Kelly hate Scott so much? Is it just because he's like the symbol of mutants? And I take it more like, is it because he sees Scott as he's actually smart, so I can't get to him? I have to get other people to get to him to make mutants look bad.
Well, the thing is because he wants them to use their power so that they can vote against them, and he knows that Scott and Jean and all these people are like much more classy than that, and so he's trying to instigate them to and people that will use the powers, and yeah, it's just a whole.
I also
play.
think that he. Oh, sorry. I also think that he knows there's like animosity there. I don't think that anyone at least in the show, is unaware of the animosity between Scott and Duncan.
Right.
And so he's very much using that as, okay, well, this is basically being handed to me on a platter. If I can make at least one of them do it, right, I can take them all out.
Mm-hmm.
And you already don't like them. And as, one of us, a human, if you get hurt, I can use that. So I feel like he's using Duncan almost as like a sacrificial lamb in this case. He knows Scott can be dangerous and is dangerous, and wants to see him kind of break his resolve, even if it's in self-defense. He can still, check that box of, oh, well, he hurt a human who's not as powerful as him. So.
Which that kind of actually makes me even think about. I mean, remember when at the end of last season when Mystique was like your friends or the enemy of your enemy, that whole whatever that
Right.
saying is or whatever, is he's doing that, like these two enemies that Duncan didn't even like these people now, and he's being as manipulative as Mystique. So like he's even like redoing Mystique's plan from the end of season 2.
Yeah. And that's a good point. Yeah, Duncan already hates Scott, and Lance Alvers hates Scott. So yeah, use all that hate to take out. Wow. Thank you, all of you, for helping me fully grasp what's going on in this kid's cartoon.
We'll get you there, BB. Don't worry. We're going to get you there.
Okay. Just call me Duncan. All right.
Just a little slow, but still cute.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I think that's a compliment. All right, back at the farm, Colossus and Logan are in full fight mode. Logan throws Colossus against a tractor. Colossus picks up the tractor and throws it at Logan. Colossus powers down and offers Logan an invitation from Magneto to join them. Colossus admits he has no choice but to work for Nito. He offers the invite and then leaves. Part of me at this point, speaking of Duncan, I was almost like, wait, Ryan made that comment about somebody leaving. I was like, is Wolverine going to actually join Magneto? But then that wouldn't make sense. So now I see where this is going. I see it from the other way. I think somebody else in trying to recruit Wolverine is going to leave Magneto to join the X-Men, and then Storm will start calling him little brother. I just thought of that all by myself.
Seriously, I love their relationship in the comics. I think it's so cute. I also loathe that the X-Men fight each other so much. There's one like X-Men like run where it's Storm leading the team, and it's Domino, Colossus, and Psylocke on the team with her, and they're like going on missions and stuff, and her and Colossus like lay into each other, and it was just like, I was like, don't fight him, but also beat his ass. Like, girl, I'm gonna let him play you in here. But I love, like, when we were talking about the Morrison, we were talking about the Joss Whedon run, and then him coming back, and then her going back to meet him while they were a part of, or when they were separate, and her finding out that he's alive, was just like one of the most heartwarming moments, I think. Her just being like, oh my God, little brother, you're alive. And like him being so excited to see her. I think like that's just so sweet. And I wish like more series had that, like just like the love between them and between like the X-Men. I wish like we got more of that.
Was Warpath also on that team?
I think he was.
Yeah, I want to say that was Uncanny right before she left to go to Avengers.
Yes.
And then, yeah, right before Hope was
AVX.
born. Yeah, right before Messiah Complex when she... Or no.
No, that was after. It was
that was
AVX.
well after, yeah. That was right before Avengers versus X-Men, because she was basically on the Avengers for like 7 issues.
2.5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like 2 issues or something. And then she was like, I don't know what y'all doing here, but I gotta bounce.
Yeah, I love that when they're all in the room together and they're like talking, and like she's like, they're like, it's the Phoenix Force that came back, and she's like, all right, I'll see you guys later.
No, she literally looked around and was like, oh no, I gotta go. She looked around and said, none of you know what you're doing. I'm out.
Mhm.
Immediately. And like, it was so like, I wish that she had said something to Logan. Like, I wish that she'd been like, what are you doing with
Yeah.
these idiots? We gotta go. Are you for real?
Thank
Like,
you.
look, that was
Mhm.
wild. Because she literally looked around that room and said,
And
both my
just flew
husband
off.
and
Like
that
it
man
was
in here, I gotta
Yep.
go. I gotta go. Y'all finna get me killed. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Um, speaking of just random thought that came to mind, what did we all think of Storm going from Queen of Araco to Avengers in this latest iteration?
Okay, apparently I'm going first. um, I because she wasn't Queen of Morocco, she was Regent of Seoul, and I think her declaration of no more thrones, right? Her kind of rejection of royalty, her understanding the dynamics of that group of people and how they operate, I think was an interesting step for her. I dislike this idea that we're transitioning away from Mars being a thing, even though like Hickman does bring it back in Aliens versus Avengers and in other. We've seen them like mention it and talk about it still. But I think her being present on the Avengers, I think, sets her up in Marvel in a more present and global stage. I like that she's an Avenger. I think she brings something to the group that they both need and also haven't had before. And sure, like, yeah, they've had Thor on the team. They've had, other incredibly powerful beings. Wanda's still there. Captain Marvel's there. Um, they have Captain America, who brings a perspective that they need. But I think Aurora brings something to them that they don't necessarily understand. And it's different from what Rogue brought to Uncanny Avengers or even Havoc. She brings an understanding of mutantdom and perspectives of like being that powerful, but also being um, compassionate. I think I tend to think of her like in the lines of Wonder Woman, right? Where I have this ability, I can fight you, I can take you out. Like it is a very real possibility. I can put you down, but I'm not going to. And I think that that is something the Avengers aren't necessarily used to. I think they're very much more like, we have the power, we're going to do what we need to do. And we don't really answer to anybody. And she, I think, is a big conscience for them. Because she's going to be like, no, we aren't above any of this.
I think
She
it
has a
created.
line. Hmm?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. She has a line in Uncanny X-Men, I believe, when she was on Cyclops' team after the schism. And it's her and Magneto, and they're kind of observing the Celestial and Mr. Sinister's mischief. And he's like, monologuing about, the villain and the goddess and, all of these things. And she just looks at him and is like, I don't believe in violence. Like, I don't believe in, these things. And I think it's such a big deal for her to be like, in a lot of ways above it all, but also very much recognizing like we do have a responsibility. And you see that in her ongoing too, like when she talks about um, telling the truth to the public about what was going on. She recognizes the accountability, and I think that's why, in a lot of ways, during Krakoa, she moved away from Xavier because of all of the lies and the manipulation and the
Mm-hmm.
need to tell the truth and to take accountability for what you do. Sorry, that was really deep for like no reason.
It was. I loved
It was
it. You're
amazing.
a good
Thank you for
girl.
that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Someone else, please talk
And
now.
yeah. And you made me think, you made a good point about, I know they said they're doing a lot of setup right now in the comics for like what can come in the MCU. So you made me wonder, like, did they put her on the Avengers to eventually put her on Avengers in the MCU, which would be pretty cool.
I tend to love her at a more global stage. I love her with the X-Men. I think that she should totally be on the X-Men team. I think, though, that she deserves more of a spotlight, too. I loved her as Queen of Wakanda. I loved her presence there. I loved her ability. I love what she brought to that realm of things. But as a person who is so powerful, I think that she should be on a stage that is meant for her. And it doesn't make a lot of sense too in the current X-Men stage for her in her leadership positions to kind of be answering to Scott or anyone else.
Yeah, she's past that.
Yeah. I
Forget
think that
Scott.
she
We
should
don't need
definitely
him.
work with him. Like, I definitely think they should be together. She should give input and, be a part of that. I loved her commentary when she learned about X-Force and, her telling him, we're going to talk about this later.
Yeah.
Like, don't think you're off the hook just because we're in a crisis. We will talk about this later. And her recognizing after that they she needed to be with him to hold him accountable. I think that's a big part of who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Yeah, sorry, my turn.
Cool.
Did anyone else want to say anything? Please give me, or give
Ryan
Oh,
Ryan wants to go.
Sean, how up to date are you on the new Storm series too? Because I don't want to give anything away without.
You can give it away. I'm like, I think 2 or 3 in, so yeah.
Has she met Doom yet?
That's the next one.
Don't spoil it. It's so good.
Yeah. There's something that happens in there that just like really honestly iconically makes Storm probably the most moral superhero that you will ever know. And like she overcomes something that like the Hulk can't do basically. Like I think that's a good analogy of like what she's becoming. Yeah. Like someone as
Okay.
indestructible as the Hulk.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I absolutely love her character, and I think that the Avengers do need someone like her that will do stuff that you're going to see in the upcoming episode.
Okay. Just a quick follow-up question for Num1, and then we'll move on because I know this was a big diversion, but I really want to know. Who did you like seeing Storm with the most in the comics? Who's her perfect mate?
Oh.
Gonna get hate again. I'm sorry. I love you guys so much. Please don't cancel me. I'm sorry. I love her with T'Challa. Like,
Okay.
I love the two of them together so much. I think because when I was reading Reginald Hudlin's run on the Black Panther and their marriage and all of the dynamics between the two of them, you have this genius, warrior king of an entire nation, who is in a very much different world than her, right? And a global stage, right? Who is very confident in who he is and what he's got going on. Aurora has always been very confident in who she is and what she has going on. So these two, both equal-footed individuals, respecting each other, trusting each other, relying on each other throughout his run, I felt like that was a wonderful and beautiful relationship. I think other writers got the dynamics confused just for plot progression, like the disillusionment of their marriage or the dissolving of their marriage and their kind of coming to terms with that. I think is something that wouldn't have happened if other writers had been involved, just because they communicated so well. I think that they communicate well because they both know that they don't need each other to like survive. She's like, when they join the Fantastic Four, like she's like, hold up, we're gonna talk about this. Pause. They have a discussion. They come to an understanding and an agreement on something, and they move forward together. And I think that that's what we should have seen them do in AVX. Like they just didn't, which was so weird to me. And then later on, they've had a couple instances where like things like that have happened, and I'm like, that's not. They don't do that though. They communicate very well, and I think that that's the biggest part of a relationship is the communication. Because if you can come to a middle ground and come to an understanding for one another, I think that just proves how much you respect one another. And if you respect one another, there's love there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you love each other, like it should work. But that's my personal thing. Currently, I think in Ultimate X-Men, she's dating Killmonger, which is weird for me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And then in current Marvel, writing. She's very much single, living her single life. And
She left poor Craig from NASA on Mars.
Ain't nobody care about no Craig from Mars, Chad. Look, love me some Craig. He fine, but it's different. And I think that there was an attempt there to like very much like humanize and ground her. I think that's what she needed at the time. But now I think she needs something different. I'm gonna plug Aliens versus Avengers again. In that series, I don't know where she is, but it's set in a universe where T'Challa and his son Azari are there, who is the son of him and Storm, which I love too. I think it's so cute. And she's also met like her children from like the future, or like her daughter from the future, Chimera, and like other characters. So I think like it's inevitable. But I think it's like the same kind of conversation with like Scott. Like who do they go with? Like who they belong with? I think there's a time and a place for things. And I think ultimately, like, she'll make her way back to T'Challa. At least I hope.
Yeah. I used to ship her and Wolverine. I really liked them together, but now that she's kind of untethered from the X-Men, I feel like that was the only reason why I liked her with Wolverine better, because it's very much their world. But now that she's not part of that world, she can do whatever she wants, go wherever she wants. She should be back with T'Challa. I feel like they're the Leo and Piper of Marvel.
Oh my gosh, totally. Soulmates.
I love them. Okay.
All right.
Back at Bayville High, the Brotherhood kick open the doors to make their return appearance. They bully kids as they make their way further into the school. Don't like that. Don't like it.
Mm-mm.
And at the same time, Jean is playing basketball. Here, she's accused of using her powers to make a basket. Jean is then benched, even though she tries to plead her case. She sees Kelly taking down trophies, and he tells her that the school is accusing the students of using their powers to get said trophies. He tells Jean that mutants are dangerous and demands her to return her soccer MVP trophy that she has earned.
He's really going in.
The
He's
way
an
this
asshole.
man manipulated this poor high school girl, like,
I know.
Like, fully gaslit.
it was horrible.
Yeah.
And like I think for a lot of things too, it's like if we can villainize you and, you know, make you feel small in any kind of capacity, then we'll win. And the man is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that one too, she was voted for by her peers. Her peers voted her like that for that trophy. So she earned it. She did earn it.
Who's
They
to say
voted
she
for
didn't
her.
take over their minds and force them to vote for her?
That's
Huh?
right. Oh,
Huh?
I guess.
How dare she?
Because that's what it means. She'd have to do all
Yeah.
that just to win.
Yep. All right. That night, the community prepares for the mutant vote. Xavier asks Jean to speak. Speech, Miss America, bravo, speech. She is reluctant to speak alone and hopes her friends get there soon. Outside, Spike, Rogue, Kitty, and Scott are confronted by Duncan and the Brotherhood. I like this because they confront Scott and like, nope, we got his back. But then the Brotherhood's like, but we got his back. They are looking to tussle. Scott demands for his team to not use their powers because we follow directions. Kitty tells Lance he's nothing but a hood, and Lance is like, yeah, I guess, because he's like, first he's like, no, wait, yes. Fine, if that's all you're never gonna love me anyway. Lance tells Kitty he'll never be good enough for her and draws on his power, orgasm face.
Yep.
Yeah.
I notated that too. I noticed it, and it went from his orgasm eye roll like down to his crotch to show his hands. I was like, "Oh, this is Kevin's all over this."
It's an intense
Yep.
earthquake.
Mm-hmm. A big one.
Stop it.
It's a really big one.
That's what I was hinting at. uh, inside the building, Jean begins to give her speech. As she speaks, we see mutants fighting outside. Jean plays to the sympathies of the audience by making them imagine what it would be like to have a mutant child. This whole speech I felt was like it was literally like something like out of like Seventh Heaven or something, like the way like the music started to play, but then out of nowhere it would literally like turn into like someone flying into a car or something. I was like, all right, I like it, I guess. Outside, the fight reaches new levels as Avalanche creates an earthquake that rocks the building. It causes the power lines to fall and hydrants to burst. Kelly tells everyone that this is what mutants do: cause chaos. Xavier points out that his students are trying to end the conflict without using their powers. Na, 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 na.
I genuinely loved this this sequence of them like not using their powers, specifically like for characters like Rogue, who are like showing how athletic they are and how much they've been training and working.
Exactly.
This is what I was like kind of hinting at earlier. Because like for me it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, they're working really hard to like not use their powers, but they're doing it in such like cool ways. And I loved that they were like, okay, yeah, we're not using our powers, but we've had training, so we can do things. And you know, they're backflipping. It's like Power Rangers almost.
Yes.
Yep.
Which I love.
They can adapt to the situation because they have experienced it. They've done it. It's great.
Mm-hmm. All right. A car is about to squish two onlookers. Court ports and saves them. Kitty phases two other people to safety as Spike narrowly saves another group of people with his spikes. The Brotherhood runs off, leaving chaos in their wake. Jean is unhappy with the impression left behind. Uh-oh.
I feel like it was inevitable. Like I feel like the entire episode is eventually like leading to them like using their powers, like they're gonna have to. But them doing it to save, you know, the public, to protect humanity, in X-Men fashion, I think is really great for the episode and really like drives the point home. Like we are good, like though we are capable of great things and also great evil, we are still good people.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah. Logan clandestiny. Ugh.
I know
Word.
clandestinely.
It is 10:30 where I am. I apologize. No. Clandestinely enters the lower levels of the school. He encounters the other students returning from their intense night. He encounters them as the mood is somber. Xavier has all the students meet and tells them that the vote went their way despite the fight. Xavier encourages the students to stand as an example to mutant kind. The students seem to reluctantly agree.
We did it.
Woo!
That's the episode.
That's the episode. So, starting with Num1, tell us your thoughts on the episode and how would you rate it? Britishly bitchin' like Emma, pretty cool like Iceman. Australian Wolverine, you kind of love it but kind of hate it. Fat and sweaty like Jubilee, are unspeakable like X-Men Origins Deadpool.
Overall, I think that I liked the episode. I liked what it showcased for the characters as they're like maturing and growing, and really becoming more aware of the world around them and more aware of what their new reality is. I would rate this pretty cool like Iceman.
Nice. I'm going to echo that. I'm going to be honest. I was originally going to give it Australian Wolverine, but hearing Num1 speak so eloquently about it, I was like, I need to bump this up to pretty cool like Iceman because it did have some really good things. The only reason I thought about bumping it down is because I feel like it's like a very important transition episode. Like we're laying the groundwork for some pretty big things to come. But yeah, I think it deserves pretty cool like Iceman.
Oh, you mean that there was no storm in it? Oh, yes, totally bump it down.
Who's Storm? No.
He doesn't exist in this episode. How dare they?
Right? K Jizzle.
Yeah. I think this is such an important episode. I actually got very emotional watching it. I cried a lot through a lot of it, actually. I think it's the perfect episode to, like you said, merge their lives from where they've been to where they are now. You get to see like the transition, because people hate them, yet they have to have the bravery and exhibit maturity, respect, and restraint even when confronted. I think that we see that the toll of the school day had on them, and it was painful to watch. um, it was hard to see them so like conspired against and falsely accused and stripped of their merits and all this stuff. But then we had the strength when they stick together for sticking up for each other, which was really beautiful. I was super mad at Kelly, even though it's great drama. I mean, it's fucking Donald Trump.
I was just gonna say it sounds very resemblance of what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why I had such a strong reaction to it too, because it was too close to home. And here's this guy. He went through all this manipulation, and then what did it do? It put you and your own people in danger. Oh, and the mutant saved your ass, so whatever. But he will never admit fault. He will never apologize. He'll never say thank you. But what I think is very powerful about this episode, people notice. People noticed that they were the mutants were doing good. They're probably realizing that Kelly isn't as wonderful as he thinks he is, and they're noticing that mutants are gonna be helpful to them. And the speech, even though it was corny, I think it was still super true. Unconditionally loving your children and how you don't want them to be hurt. It's very true. It's very powerful. And I like that juxtaposed with the fighting. It was really kind of neat. Yeah. And then I like the ending too, where like they got what they wanted, they voted them in, and yet it's not exactly good news either, because there's still going to be an environment where people hate them, and there might be insufferable just situations like they just were in. So I don't know. I thought it was super powerful and lovely, and I gave it British to the bitchin'.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
It is sad to me. You bring up the fact that, yeah, when you rewatch X-Men 92, when you watch X-Men Evolution, like these stories are 20, 30 years old, but we're still going through the same shit. Like we still haven't grown as humanity. Like you would think we'd have gotten somewhere by now. In some ways we have, but it's sad.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that, though, is the pitting of all of us against one another in our society. When we're looking at capitalism and we look at the way that our society operates, it can't sustain itself if people aren't, fighting each other. If we all stood together and were unified and stood up for what was right, I think that our society in and of itself would have to change. And, those people that make all the money and the people that, are in power don't want that to happen. So what we see is a lot of divisive tactics and, finger pointing and blaming people. So I think that that's what that is, and why it's so kind of heartbreaking for us as a society that we haven't evolved further. And we see that represented in media, because we all have that feeling, that otherness, even if it's not to the same degree as others of us that are genuinely being persecuted. I think that we all have that genuine feeling, and it should unite us, but we refuse to let it do it.
Yeah, well said. Very true.
Beautifully said, yeah. See, solving for X can get serious.
Yeah. Once I leave, the show will be like a lot more serious. So I'm glad that I'm quitting the podcast.
What is that?
The thing for your, like when you type.
I thought it was like a giant black dildo or something. Like, what the heck is that?
Wow.
I was like, what?
But I-
Gosh,
Oh, we're back to being stupid again.
that would be huge.
I'm like, what is
Yeah.
going on over there?
Very
Yeah.
talented. Yeah, whoever.
Anyway, Ryan, we didn't forget about you. What are your thoughts?
I had kind of the same thoughts that you did, Sean. I was going to say Australian Wolverine, and honestly, the only reason I was going to say that is because I feel like I've just been like throwing out bitch and Emma's all the time because I like this show so much. So like I was gonna do that just because I feel like I need to be a little harsher, but I feel like with what Kevin said and with what Num1 said, I would have to say pretty cool, like Iceman. Honestly, it was a really great episode. It had some amazing morals in it, and how cool that it was actually able to be so relatable to the fucked up shit that's going on in our world in 2025 when this aired 30 years ago, or I guess 27 years ago.
23 years ago, 2002.
I thought this was the 30th anniversary of it.
25th.
Is it?
Well, this
Or is it the 20th
3 years
anniversary?
in.
Or-
'Cause it started in
25th?
2000. It started in
Yeah.
2000.
So 25th.
And then-
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Is it the
25th.
25th anniversary? Is that what we're celebrating?
Yes.
Yes. There we
Yes.
go.
Mhm.
All right. And then I'll start with MXP, your most excellent player. I gave it to Jean. This poor girl has been through so much. Not only is she having her trophy stripped away from her, not only is asshat Professor X like, oh, by the way, now that we're already here, I need you to do a speech. I'm like, who does that? But she, after everything she went through, she went up and gave that speech. And then I even empathized with her as she kind of gave up hope in the end. She kind of was like, well, of course that didn't get passed. Look
Yeah.
what happened. And to see that she got to that place but was still like able to overcome, like, I don't know, she just was very real to me in this episode. I thought she was very well done.
Hmm.
Who wants to go next?
But it did get passed, right? It did get passed.
It did get passed, but like
Oh,
the
but
fact
she-
that
she didn't wanna
before
go.
he
Yeah.
told them, yeah, she was like, well, how could it get passed with what just happened? And Professor X told her, like, no, it did get passed. So I understand how she would have got to that thought process because
Oh,
it
yeah.
felt
Yeah,
hopeless
yeah.
at that point.
Right. Okay, MXP. I said Jean too. Just because
There were
you
two
know,
genes?
two genes. Madeline
The guy
Pryor
gene.
and everything. Yeah, I said Jean too, just because she is such a classy lady, and she's gone through the ringer. The way, you know, even just being bumped by the basketball people, and she did a cartwheel down like on the ground and everything. Like it's just like, and you know, here she is playing a game using her natural skills, not the power skills, but her natural basketball skills, and it was like, oh, you use your power. It's like, no, I didn't. Leave me alone. And she's still, you know, I feel like she's having a journey, but she's still a really classy, warm person, and just wonderful. So yeah, love her.
Yeah.
Do you want
No,
me to
you go
first,
ahead.
Ryan?
No, you go ahead.
I'm gonna say MVP. Can I do two characters?
I guess.
Okay.
Our
Sorry,
first
I want to
ever
do
two
Kitty and
MVPs.
Rogue. Sorry, I wanted to
Yeah.
do Kitty and Rogue though, because like they was holding Scott down the entire episode.
They
like
were.
there for the people. They stood their ground. They like had his back. They didn't. I felt like they never faltered. They never like even once like really wanted to use their abilities. I felt like they knew what business was, and they were like, okay, this is what we're doing. We're gonna have each other's back. Like the two of them were like, we're not gonna let nobody stomp on us, even though we can't use our powers and we could clock them. But like, Scott was showing up,
They were
and like
on
they
it.
encouraged the others too to like especially Kurt in this episode.
Yeah.
But they encouraged them like, we're all sticking together here. Like that's how we're gonna make it through this.
I love
And so
the
I think
boy.
that-
He was like, go ahead. I was gonna
No,
say, I
I
love
just
the
think
boy
that's, like-
with Rogue.
Yeah,
With Rogue, he's like, like, are you gonna read my mind? It's like, yeah, like I could find one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need this. And like it was like the quippiness, the like the slickness of the mouth, the like we're not playing with y'all. Period. Like all of that for me was like, okay, yeah, we stay on business. Don't play with us. Because guess what? I don't need these files. I'll still whoop you. And so like for me, that's like, hey, the girls had it. Okay, clock T, love.
No.
All right.
I also said, I actually said Kitty, because the way that
Oh,
she
nice.
just like literally just kept on giving Kurt shit throughout the entire episode and just being like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Just from the milk
Like,
alone.
exactly.
Yeah.
From when the show opened, she's giving
Yeah.
him shit.
Yes.
Because you
Like-
know, like if you live with people like that, like roommates and stuff, I know you've been drinking out this milk. And she's like, I'm not drinking out the milk. You can't prove it.
Mhm.
So he's like, okay, well, bet. I'm gonna keep an eye out, and then proved it.
Yep. But yeah, I like the way that, and also how she stood up, like without even a second thought. She was right there supporting Scott too. So I wanted to give it to Kitty because I really feel like she's really becoming not the Valley Girl that we first met in episode 1. You know, like she's her character's advancing, and you can kind of even see that. I don't know if you guys noticed, but her outfit's changing too. Like her common. Like she doesn't have the same, like, what is it usually, like a blue shirt and like a pink like button down or something with it or something, I don't know, something like that, but she doesn't have that anymore. She's got more of kind of a shorter midriff maroon shirt now, and it I don't know, I just like it. I like the way that her character is advancing and she's becoming more of an adult. Kitty's growing up, you guys. Kitty's growing up.
Aww.
Our baby's growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you mean used to be friends, Kurt? Used to be?
Look, she was mad as a snake at that boy.
Yeah.
Kitty's becoming
And, like,
a cat,
I wanted
you
to see like their
guys.
conversation at home. Like, did she snitch? Did she say, Professor, he hid all day. Get him. Where's Storm? Girl, come get this boy. He lied.
Right?
Kitty's character, she would be that person too. Kitty's character would be that person.
Yeah.
Be like, guess what he did?
But also for me, like, if I had been there, I'd be like, just wait till we get home. Just wait. I'm gonna leave you in the danger room. Watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't call me for help. And I'm turning it up a level. How dare you?
How dare you? There's that teacher voice again. So for X Factor, so this episode is all about like adversity and the X-Men being set up, but they were still heroes. Is that kind of everybody's X Factor? Did anybody have something different?
You can go. For me? You're waiting for me? Okay, you go. He's frozen. Oh no, you're
Me?
good.
Oh, I was literally waiting for someone else. Okay, so mine is literally just the way that humans flip flop on the mutants. You know, like one day they're like, yeah, we hate it or we love them. Next day they're like, they're the devil, all this stuff, we hate them. And then 2 days later they're like, you know what? They did save that one girl. I guess they're not that bad.
Accurate.
Mhm.
They didn't let me get crushed by that car. I love them now.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be a mutant when I grow up. No.
I think for me, my favorite like callback moments are like the X-Section is under repair and like
Oh yeah.
we're just like hanging out in the sub basement because it's totally a normal response, not like a hotel or like I don't know, like the summer house. I don't know. But yeah, we're just gonna sleep on cots in the danger room. It's fine.
Yeah, nothing could go wrong.
The bunker in the house or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. But also the spray
right,
paint,
Kitty.
I think, outside the mansion, definitely a callback to issues like New X-Men, where they had like spray painted the wall after the X-Men were outed by Charles or not Charles.
Cassandra.
Yeah, Cassandra.
Mhm.
But I think like those moments, I'm like, oh yeah, so we're not, dealing with things that are totally out of the realm of normal comic book stuff. So
Yeah.
Kevin, we did
Candy.
Yeah,
mention
my X
Cassandra
Factor.
Nova. Do you want to say your favorite line?
Oh,
Oh
say
yeah.
it.
Flicking my bean to the Enya box set.
Thank you.
so funny.
But yeah, my X Factor is the X-Men politics, because they're not just represented here, they are fully embraced. We got the experience of everyone from the oppressed do-gooders, the mutants who would prefer to hide, the mutants who embrace being villainized, the humanity that fears them, the humanity that accepts them, and then the general public, opinion and how it changes. So the whole gamut is here, and I think that's really kind of cool.
Yeah, cool. All right. Previously on, I kept it simple. How would you use your mutant fame? Would you want to be an actor, model, singer, or writer?
I'm like, all of the above. How do I choose?
So this is really like you guys are gonna think, oh, Num is insane. This is a conversation that I've had the past couple days because we were just at Awesome Con, so I was with all my people and I love them so much. And like I was being a menace, but like honestly, my brain sometimes is like, if I actually had superpowers, I'm being a villain. This is ridiculous. I'm robbing banks. I'm taking over the government. You think this is bad now? It's a dictatorship. I don't care anymore. This is dumb.
I'm blowing up the White House. I don't care.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Food costs $1,000. This is eggs. Why are eggs this expensive? You know what? No, everybody, free eggs. Free eggs for everybody. Now what? Everybody gets an egg. No.
You get an egg. You get an egg.
There's an egg under
I'm
my
opening
seat.
eggs now what? Yes, I'm
Is it
in
Easter?
Easter's every day. But no. If I had to choose like actor, model, singer, writer, I'm definitely going more model. I tend to like the cosplay that I'm doing, so if I had superpowers, I'm totally modeling. If I can fly. It depends on what my powers are. If they're like,
true.
I don't know, like slime powers or something, maybe not.
You don't know. There's
I
weird
think-
models for everything.
That's true.
I don't want to do that though. I look, mad respect to those people that do. I don't want to do it though.
Just the way
Today,
your
one of my
facial
coworkers like,
expressions
you see me on OnlyFans and you see my feet. I'm like, I don't want to see your feet. I don't want to see your feet not on OnlyFans. In fact, you have sandals on right now, and I'm not looking. I don't want to see them. Keep it to yourself.
Yep. Put
Like,
those away.
Love you. Love that journey for you, not for me. Gotta be cute, okay?
Oh my god, you're the best.
Yeah.
I'm a menace, but thank you.
Yeah, you are.
Can't help it.
I think I would want to take a stab at acting, especially after Too Mutant to Handle. I'm like, I've got some talent. Like, I could be an actor. I could be Hercules in real life, but fat.
Stop.
I'm laughing because, like, if you were like got superpowers, I'm sure you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna like level up now. Especially if you're gonna be an actor, like I feel like you'd be like, oh, this is gonna be easy.
True.
It also depends on what powers. Like if it's slime powers, maybe. I don't know.
If I had slime powers, I'd throw it into a bottle. I'd call it SP Jelly and let people use it as lube, and then I would just be on the commercials.
Is this like an Ivan Ooze thing, or is this like
Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh.
I don't know how to
We're
work
in trouble.
Where's my autograph book?
Look, I love him so much. And do you know how angry I am that I don't have a figure of him yet? I have all of the others. This is a tangent. I'm so sorry. But this is one of my, like, grudges. No, it's a grudge. I'm going to open my little grudgery and just, like, hold on to this grudge forever. Like, I need it. You don't understand. It's my childhood.
I get it. I got it. I'm that way with collectibles or with collecting stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. Num has taken us on our first ever tangent on any one of our podcasts.
Never
You're
again.
welcome. I'll just pop your
Tangent all the time.
Oh yeah. I would choose actor as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After your amazing Major Domo and Iceman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danger.
Danger.
All right.
What I act and model probably the most currently. I guess I'll just stick with actor just because it's the easiest for me.
Yeah.
But and when I do my modeling too, I bring acting to the modeling because I'm always trying to channel a character or emotion even in my modeling, and so that's like the root. That's where everything comes from and stems from. So
Totally.
Nice.
yeah,
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. We have a guest. Do you all know what that means? That we have a guest? That means we are about to do
Yeah.
some Danger Room Divas.
Divas!
What does this mean? I'm scared.
Come on, Gambit, can't you make this program a little tougher?
Oh, it's no gameplay. It's the danger room. It's where we train.
Danger Room Divas!
Simulation complete.
All right, Num. So you are our guest. So who would you like to challenge this week?
Ooh. I'm gonna challenge, I think, Kevin, because I love him so much. Yeah.
I think you need to be exempt after like 5 turns in a row. But okay.
How about we'll start doing if you win it, you can't be challenged. How about that? Starting today.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you are now exempt.
Yep. All right, Num. And would you like to be heroes or villains?
I'm gonna do heroes.
Oh.
I just said I would be a villain.
I
Oh,
was gonna say, I know.
Oh.
So
I
a lot
know,
of
I'm
change and
surprised
thought.
at you.
surprising.
I feel like I'm like in real life, I'm like, villain! And then like I do good things, and then I'm like, no!
Boom!
Boom boom! I love boom boom! Like,
I want you in my room.
Yes! I don't think
No.
we've gotten Boom Boom yet either, so that's fun.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
yay.
Kevin, you got the little bitch boy himself, Fabian Cortez.
Hi, Fabian.
That's so funny.
Me, Fabian.
Me, Fabian.
Oops, I just turned my phone off. Let me open that back up. All right, spinning the wheel. No, I don't want that. All right. Oh. So your situation is, who would be more into pup play?
Wow.
Ryan looks
Okay
shocked.
then.
I don't
All right,
I
okay.
so-
added some new ones, but damn, I didn't know.
I'm sorry I gated up for us all.
I know what you get Sean for his birthday coming up. No.
Okay. So
Oh my God.
Boom Boom versus Fabian. Who would be more into pup play? Num, you get to choose who goes first.
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I am so
You've
excited
got
to hear
30
these.
seconds. Yeah. 30 seconds starting now.
Okay, so I think that Boom Boom would really be into that because Boom Boom is really immature. She also likes a little bit of excitement, or maybe a lot of excitement, because also, you know, Boom Boom, duh. Also, she's been on some really weird teams with a lot of really weird people. Let's talk about X-Force, you know, joining there. She's blowing stuff up. She's got Cannonball also who explodes, so questionable. Then we go on, and through later years, she joins Monica Rambeau on Agents of Hate, where I think that
Time.
honestly, she not enough time.
I know, it goes by fast.
30 seconds is not enough time.
You did good,
Not
though.
enough
You did
time.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did. All right, Kevin, tell us why me, Fabian, would be into pup play starting now.
Okay, me, Fabian, would be into pup play because pup play is all about, the powers, dynamics, and, a little bit of a sub-dom thing. And his power is about manipulating powers, amplifying and nullifying that energy. So he would be a real good player in that little experience, So I think he'll just be giving you you gonna be the dom now. No, I'm gonna take your power away. I'm gonna give it's gonna be
Time.
all this kind of really cool. Okay, there you go.
Wow, what good arguments.
Yay.
I feel like I need a cigarette. No,
I feel like I need a shower.
I'm so I'll tell you when we're done, when we decide, or should I wait? I feel
you
like
tell us
I
afterwards.
wanted to
Yeah.
really get to Ages of Hate because the dynamic there with there's who's the android that's on that team? I can't remember his name, but there's an android on the team who's just this massive freak. And I feel like she would have made him her little pup, but just ignore this part, listeners. I'm so sorry. Or you can cut it.
No, yeah, it's all. We're good.
I'm keeping it all in.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
This is a tame episode comparatively.
Yeah, it actually is.
Very much so. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Was the android Machine Man?
Yes, it was Machine
Okay.
Man. It was him, Monica Rambeau, Boom Boom, Elsa, Bloodstone, and who else? There was one more.
Yeah, there's one more guy. I can't tell who that is though.
Aaron Stack.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it says Aaron Stack, Elsa Bloodstone, Captain, Monica Rambeau, Tabitha Smith.
Okay. Well, Num, it's been so wonderful to have you on the show. I was really excited to just get to sit down with you and get to know you. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
Yes, it was a true blast. Yes.
Yeah, this is a very long episode, but it's worth it. There's a lot of good stuff said.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Oh my god. Don't apologize at all. Please. This was so much fun.
No.
I loved it.
Where can people find your beautiful cosplay?
My cosplay and everything is on Instagram. I'm kind of transitioning into Twitter and Blue Sky and everything else, but you can definitely find me on my handle Num1 cosplay. I'm on Instagram basically all the time, scrolling, collaborating, and trying my best to get out these storm covers because they're killing me. But find me there. I also will be at conventions and things moving forward. I'll be doing Free Comic Book Day locally in my area, and then in the summer I'll be at the Uncanny Experience.
Yay! And Ryan, how about you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at RYEORIO or find me in the Solving for X comments.
K Jizzle.
Yeah, I'm K Jizzle, and you can find me on Instagram at KJEEZY87. That says KGZ87, but I'm being Snoop Dogg today. And then you can find me on the other podcast that I do with Sean, Words of the Witches, covering the Charmed magazines right now. Yes.
Yes. And you can find the podcast on solvingforx.xmen.tas on YouTube, Instagram, or you can find me on Sean Perrette on Instagram or on TikTok. And actually this month you could find Num and I both doing voices on Grey Malkin Lane, which has been so much fun. Yes. All right. Thank you everybody for listening. Sexy Xy's will be back next week with the stuff of villains.
Wow. Go on,
I
Jess.
wonder if it's gonna be raw.
Stop it.
Then take it raw.